Hello everybody, welcome back to Amber's Place. So I'm going to be doing this tarot reading today for Geminis for the month of June. I'll be using my normal 3 decks, which are the Messenger Oracle deck, the Art of Tarot deck, and the Dreams of Gaia deck. So without further ado, let's get on with this reading. I love the smell of white sage. So first thing is to draw the Oracle card. I've already, where the decks are reversible, I've already given them a good shuffle and mixed up the orientation. So the Oracle card is for Geminis for June. Seek the lesson. Dreams of Gaia. And now the Art of Tarot deck. Okay, so the energy, the overall message for the month for Geminis is seek the lesson. This is about how every experience in life has a lesson that we can glean from it. And for many, this is the whole point of life. It's about the meaning of wisdom, which is wisdom is gained through seeking the lesson in all of our experiences, both good and bad. It is born from the awareness that everything is connected and everything happens for a reason, even when that reason might remain a mystery. Start to listen to your internal voice more, and to those teachers, whether they are humans or a book or anything else that are in your life, as well as the messages and the messengers that come into your life. Seek inspiration from these people. So for the first week in June, we have the Knight of Pentacles. The Pentacles are about finances and money. And this has been paired with the Counselor card. The Counselor card is a water card. It's about emotions. and the card is reversed. Okay, overall, the Counselor card reverse is advising that during this first week of the month or thereabouts, objectivity and empathy is required. Bear with me as my screen turned itself off. So let me get that back on. Okay, so Geminis, objectivity and empathy is required from you this week, the first week of June. Is there somebody in your life, a significant person, who you would call a steadfast person, somebody who is reliable and dependable? This isn't somebody that is inspiring to others, nor is it somebody who's highly creative, but it's a person that exudes this sense of trustworthiness, honesty, and loyalty. Is this a family member, a spouse, a partner, a friend, a colleague at work? Because it's the Pentacle card, this person is likely to be involved in some manner in a financial capacity. So this could be somebody who is you are romantically involved in with, or it could be somebody that lives within your home or colleague. Not necessarily, but likely something to do with money, and this person is connected, and they're both connected to your life. Alternatively, this could be that there is a financial, not an issue as such, but do you have a decision to make with your career, or even a hobby, but something to do with money, something that's going to bring you money or is going to require investment? If so, it may be that you need to get some advice or to listen to the advice of this other person who you would identify as being this steadfast character in your life. Whatever the scenario in your life, there is a situation that is to do with the financial aspect of your life and this other individual. The alternative is that that individual is yourself. Would others describe you as having, embodying those characteristics, as being trustworthy, honest, and loyal, but not necessarily creative or inspiring? A dependable character. Is that you? Are you being required or desiring to help somebody with a career move, an issue to do with their finances? Are you being listened to? The Dreams of Gaia card, the Counselor reverse, indicates that whether it's you who is somebody else is trying to assist or advise, or whether it's you trying to do the same for another, or even is it you and your internal voice is trying to advise you and give you some direction that you're not listening to. Either way, there is a lack of empathy and understanding involved here from one or other of the identities that are interacting, whether that's your internal voice, another person, whether you're giving the advice to them or they're trying to give advice to you. Somebody isn't being willing to hear what's being said, or to consider somebody else's feelings. Is there a new career opportunity, a new job, a promotion? Are you desiring to move into a hobby that requires investment? Is there some concern about the progression of this and how that's going to affect others? Are you refusing? Are you closing your ears so that you don't hear the concerns of other people? It's not necessarily that their concerns are valid, but or that they have merit. Maybe you are sure that those concerns aren't valid in terms of, you know, everything's going to be okay. You're sure this is right. Whether you believe somebody else's concerns have merit, they are very real concerns for them. And this is where a lack of empathy and consideration of other people's feelings may come into play. An example would be if you have children and say you have an 8-year-old child, and your 8-year-old child comes home from school very upset because they've fallen out with a friend in the playground. How do you react? Do you dismiss that because you know it's not significant and important, and tomorrow, like always, they'll probably make friends again and everything will be rosy? Or do you treat it with the seriousness that they are feeling, because you know that to them, in that moment in time, those emotions are very real? Switch that to this situation. Consider the feelings of others. Now, it could be that you're the one with concerns and somebody else isn't listening to you. Maybe they are being dismissive about your concerns. Maybe they are not understanding your feelings here. If that's the case, monitor your own emotional response. How are you responding to their intransigence? How are you responding to it? Are you making it worse by trying to force the issue? If so, perhaps try to take a step back. Just allow them to be. And then try again at another time in a different way. How much do you listen to others' concerns, and how much do you listen to your own concerns? Is your inner voice giving you warnings about this, a certain situation? Is your inner voice trying to point out the pitfalls here? Are you ignoring them? If that's the case, I would advise not to do that. Even if they are unlikely, they are still a possibility, and forewarned is forearmed. Overall, this week is about empathy and the willingness to really listen to somebody. Listening and hearing are two entirely different things. You can hear a lot, it doesn't mean you're listening. For example, say you're at a party in a crowded room. You're hearing all of the conversations, but you're not listening to all of the conversations. They're two entirely different things. So, the second week, we have the Nine of Wands, and this has been paired with another emotions card, another water card in reverse. The Six of Water this time. Okay, so the second week is the Art of Tarot card. It's a very positive card. There is something in your life that has required creative endeavor, creative effort. This could have already happened or is going to happen this week. It indicates that there will be a wise investment of time, reserves of strength and effort this week in some form of creative endeavor. It indicates that there is a network of supportive people and other safety nets, perhaps financial safety nets, are surrounding you at this time. Your strength is strong this week. You are full of energy. You are full of zeal for this endeavor. You know what you want to do and you're going to do it. This is vital. This is what's needed in order for this endeavor to progress along its path. And it is essential that you have this safety nets in place, this supportive network, because a lot of time, energy, and financial resources are required in this endeavor. Again, this may not be you directly, it may be somebody that you're very involved with who is going to be putting all of his resources into this endeavor. But it's going to have an impact on yourself and your life. It's going to require time and resource from yourself as well. The Dreams of Gaia card is a cautionary card about the desire for revenge. There's somebody that perhaps you've got an attitude of after this week of, I told them so. I was right and they were wrong. Perhaps it is a person from week 1 who was expressing concerns to you about this endeavor and you didn't listen, you didn't heed their feelings, and this has bled over to this week. Now you feel they've been proven wrong. Is there a little demon inside you that really wants to say, I told you so? The card is indicating this week not to be petty. Perhaps you were right. Your feelings of concern were correct. Either way, there is going to be a situation this week where you may be tempted to give in to a little bit of petty behavior to get back at somebody in some way. Even if you know they deserve it, even if you feel they deserve it, reconsider what you do. Every time you inflict hurt on somebody else, you are in effect hurting yourself. The reasons for this are quite complicated, but also very simple at the same time. We are all connected. We are all connected at varying degrees of connectedness, depending on our interpersonal relationships. But even if a stranger on another side of the planet, we are still connected spiritually to them. Every action causes a reaction. And so to prevent harm to yourself, you need to prevent inflicting harm on others, because there is always a reverberation, there's always a knock-on effect. And eventually, sooner or later, that is going to impact on you. Guilt and regret are like wearing a pair of shoes where you stepped on a nail and you can't get the nail out. It's always going to be irritating. It's always going to cause you pain. And eventually, that nail may work through the shoe and cause real damage. What is the point in loading more regret, more shame, more anger, more frustration, more desire to hurt and inflict hurt on others? What is the point in loading more of these things onto you emotionally? In that respect, you are harming yourself. Now, that's not to say you're a bad person because you have these desires. Everybody does to some degree. The lessons of life, and this is where the Oracle card comes in, seek the lesson, is that it's to develop an awareness and understanding of how harming others harms ourselves, even if you think they deserve it. Just because somebody may have been proven incorrect does not mean that their feelings and concerns were incorrect. Try to see situation from their shoes, not as if you were stood in their shoes, but as if you were them stood in their shoes. That is true empathy. Otherwise, it's just understanding. Empathy isn't about trying to see things from another's perspective as if you were them, because that isn't empathy. Empathy is understanding why somebody else, as a unique identity with a unique set of life experiences, reacts the way they do. The overall advice is this week is to prevent yourself from giving into these desires by remaining peaceful and emotionally detached. If you feel this desire creep into you, even if it is being catalyzed by the behavior of the other party, try to find methods to stop yourself giving into these desires, to inflict petty hurt. Remove yourself from the situation. Meditate. Allow these feelings to come into you because they're your feelings, they are legitimate. But don't allow them to drive your car. Let them come in and then flow away. Recognize their existence and then let them go. But do not beat yourself up about them. Sorry, I've got a cat hair now on my nose. Do not beat yourself up because you've had them. Everybody does. Having emotions and feelings is part of being human. Okay, so the third week. We have another emotions card. And this has been paired with an earth card. Both these cards are about home, family and career. So this week, this is a very big aspect to your life. Okay, so the Five of Earth card, the Dreams of Gaia, is all about deception. Something is not as it seems this week. This deception can come in a variety of different forms. It could be a person who is being deceitful. There could be somebody else, or it could be yourself. Are you hiding something? Are you not being honest? Are you not being honest with yourself, or are you not being honest with other people? Are you refusing to see what's really going on because it's unpleasant? There's also a risk of a con man or woman. Be very careful this week. Somebody might be deceiving you. Listen to your inner voice this week. Listen to your gut instinct. Try not to assign blame or listen to selfish instincts. Try to see the truth. Look through the deception. Look at the whole picture. Open yourself up to everything about this situation, all the potentialities, to try and discern what is really going on here. The Art of Tarot card specifies that this is something to do with your family. Likely to have something to do with children. Now, if you don't have children, this could be somebody who is in a childlike position in terms of relationship to yourself. A dependent, somebody who is depends upon you for some kind of support. Be careful that you're not overworking, that you're not neglecting something at home, some family issue because of your passion for this new endeavor, whether that be a job or a hobby, this creative endeavor earlier in the month. So just be careful that you haven't neglected home life here, that you put blinkers on, you want to deal with that later. Are you deceiving yourself as to how important that issue is to deal with? Is somebody else deceiving you? Are you relying on somebody else to let you know of any problems? And out of their love for you and what you're doing, they're saying, no, 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 everything's fine, when really it's not. Don't just assume that's the case. Look through what people are saying. The deceit may not be malicious, is what I'm saying. It may be a deceit to try and protect you with good intentions. Whatever the case may be, you are going to require the unconditional support of those around you. Do you remember the safety net that was spoke about earlier in the reading? This safety net of people around you who are supporting you. This is going to be significant this week. You're going to need their help. Don't allow whatever the situation is to make you lose faith. Faith in your creative endeavor, faith in your life, faith in a relationship. Don't allow it to eat away at your faith. Use the people around you wisely. They're there to help you. Don't ignore the support that's being offered. And don't stop yourself from asking for the help that you need. Okay, now the last week of the month, we have another Cups card. And this is the Queen of Cups. And this has been paired with a water card, an emotions card, the Four of Water. Okay. The Art of Tarot card, the Queen of Cups, represents somebody who is maternal with nature or in terms of their relationship to you. This could also be yourself. It is somebody who is compassionate, who has a feminine energy, a nurturing energy around them towards you. If this is you, then this could be the energy that you need to embody this week, a nurturing energy. This is somebody who feels deeply. Feelings are the most important thing for this person. Emotions are key. This person is somebody who looks upon you lovingly. This person is somebody who loves you deeply. The Dreams of Gaia card is all about feelings of imperfection and inadequacy. This indicates that either yourself or somebody else is looking, either you are looking at yourself or you are looking at somebody else as being imperfect, that you are assuming that to be perfect is to be without flaw. Are you somebody who constantly beats yourself up for every little mistake? For telling yourself you don't do good enough, you're not working hard enough, you're not, every time you miss something or don't see something. This could be related to what's happened prior in this month. Perhaps you've been so focused on this creative endeavor, you missed the signs of things going on at home. You deceived yourself or you allowed somebody else to deceive you, and now you're beating yourself up with a stick this last week for that. If that's the case, it's okay to be human. To be human is to not be without flaw. If we didn't have flaws and make mistakes, we would not absorb any lessons in life. Nobody is perfect and without flaw. Don't beat yourself up, let it go. As long as you've learnt from it and you have a determination to not repeat that mistake, that's okay. In the same way, are you beating somebody else up emotionally for making mistakes? Are you expecting somebody else to be more perfect than they are, to be flawless? If so, that is unreasonable. Now, logically, you may know that, but emotionally, you may still possess the feelings that this person should have done better. Again, these are damaging emotions. Let them go. They will exist, and that's good. We need these emotions, but it's our choice whether to hold on to them and fuel our car with them. Our car being our body, ourselves. This could also be that you're disappointed in your creative endeavor. Was you expecting did you have too high expectations of it? Did you expect it to be different than it was? Did you expect it to progress faster? Have you lost faith in it? Again, nothing is flawless. Nothing is without imperfections. Don't allow whatever has occurred for you to make you lose faith, because it is a lesson here. There is a lesson to have been learnt. Whenever anyone starts a new job, a new hobby, a new exercise program, anything, they are going to make mistakes. But mistakes are there to help you learn, for you to improve. They're not really there for you to beat yourself up for making them. Is there somebody in your life who possesses this nurturing, motherly characteristic, who looks at you and treats you in a motherly, nurturing way? If so, they could be important here in helping you to overcome these feelings of inadequacy about yourself, about your endeavors, or about somebody else. Try to see things through their eyes. Try to understand how they see you to help you see a different aspect of yourself. It doesn't mean that they know you better than you know yourself, but by trying to see through their eyes, it can help you see a layer of yourself that perhaps you have been deceiving yourself by not understanding exists. Perhaps because you haven't been able to see yourself in that light, you've only been focusing on the negatives, on the imperfections. Whereas a motherly, nurturing character will focus on the perfections and will not focus on imperfections. One builds you up, one tears you down, but both are needed. Whatever the case may be, just remember to love yourself without conditions. And don't lose faith in whatever it is you are trying to build this month. Okay, and that's the end of the reading for Geminis for June. I hope this is helpful to Geminis. Before I go, please, if you have enjoyed this, remember to like the video, and I would very much appreciate it if you would see to sharing it on social media or other platforms and subscribing. Don't forget, if you are okay to receive notifications, to tick the notifications bell. And check out my other playlists, because I also upload guided meditations, and I've uploaded a new one very recently, only yesterday. This was one that I performed with a group of friends, and it turned out to be a channeled meditation. It was completely unscripted and ad hoc, but it was about integrating with your higher self. Other terms for higher self, if you don't understand what I mean, would be your soul, your spirit, with Gaia, with God, with Source. They're all different aspects of self. And this could be very helpful to Geminis this month, especially towards the latter end of the month, when emotionally things may become more challenging. Integrating with your higher self in meditation allows you to understand who and what you are, and to embody these feelings of unconditional love for yourself and for humanity and everything else. So I'd advise Geminis who are going through this period at the end of the month to try out this meditation. See if it helps you to achieve the equanimity of emotions that are needed for the detachment and the distance that you need at this time. And see if it will help you seek the lesson that you are supposed to learn this month. Okay, and that's the end of the reading, and I will see you again at the end of June for July's reading. I have every intention of getting it up a little bit earlier this next month. And other than that, Geminis, have a very good month. Don't let things get you down. Remember to love yourself and stop beating yourself up. And listen to both of those inner voices. Don't deceive yourself, but listen to them both. You don't have to heed both, but listen to them both. Both sides of your character, you are a twin. You have two very strong inner voices. Okay. And I'll see you again at the end of June.